Something like really fun that happened this week. Uh, we were down on the dock on the lake, and everyone should know that like the dock is a danger zone. Like unless you want to get wet, that's not a place to be. And I remember Jaden came down and he was asking me, he's wanting to ride the boats all week long. We had these colored bracelets you had to have in order to ride a boat. And so Jaden came to me and he said, do you have any more colored bracelets? And I said, oh, I think Chase has some. I gave some to him a little bit ago. I said, why don't you go ask him? And this is a total lie, by the way. But Chase is like swimming in the water, so Jaden like walks over and he's like, hey Chase, do you have any bracelets? And then like as soon as they get this conversation, I like throw Jaden into the lake, and it was so funny. And so Jaden comes out. Well, a few minutes later, Chase throws Jaden into the lake, and Jaden starts kind of yelling at him, and he's like, Chase, he's like, it's against the rules to throw people in the lake. He's like, don't do that anymore. And he's like, it's okay if Taylor throws me in because he's a pastor. And I was like, yes, like I can throw people in the lake whenever I want.
So the Mario Kart race, we raced around cones and like we popped balloons and stuff, and it was really fun. We were on scooters and like racing.
There was this one time that, so I brought a deck of cards that were like Once Upon a Time themed, and so they had the Once Upon a Time characters on them, and Captain Hook was on the 9 card, and so Ryan decided that the 9 card, Captain Hook, was her boyfriend, and so I kept, so every time I asked for a 9, she'd get really mad. So there was this one time that I knew she had a 9, and I had a 9, and I'm like sitting there cracking up. And it's just like, do you have a 9? And then she like blew up.
My favorite part of camp would probably be the tubing, or doing backflips off of the high dive. I think I really like that, the tubing, because I went to I was going with Ryan, and I was going really fast, and I fell off twice. One of them I fell off on purpose. I just plugged my nose and then fell off. And then the second time I fell off, I kind of just couldn't hang on any longer, and I just screamed and then fell off.
Okay, there's one funny thing, okay. So, I know Joey is probably still mad, but okay. So, Joey had this box of icebreakers, right? And I decided, okay, I'm just gonna open them up and eat them all. And then, since to make Joey think he still has icebreakers, I put rocks in him. And legit, like the last full day, he figured him out, and it was just so funny. I can't believe it took him that long to realize.
And so one of my favorite things was swimming. It's just like super cool in the lake. Like once you jumped in, it was just like free flowing and stuff. It was really nice.
One of the funnest things I did at camp was when everybody at camp, almost everybody from our church, got onto the black floating dock, and it started sinking in the lake. It just started sinking. We all fell off. Like we all tripped off and fell into the water.
Okay, so me and my friend Garion decided to start What Are You Doing? And it was really funny because like we had people act out different scenes, whatever they wanted to act out. So like all you have to do is like say like whatever comes to your mind, and then they act it out. So it got really, really entertaining. While we were playing that, one guy was like, what are you doing? And he's like, peeing my pants. So he dumped water on the ground and was like, whoops.
One of the funniest things was when the snack shack was open, Jaden bought a full pack of Mentos and a Dr. Pepper. Put all of them in his mouth, and then started chugging it. And it was like going all down his face and everything. It was funny.
A funny moment would be Wednesday. It was like free time after lunch and stuff, and I met up with these people from Wenatchee's church, and we were playing spoons. It's like a card game where like you have to get 4 of a kind, and like you have to grab a spoon, and the person that doesn't get a spoon is like eliminated. and we were playing with Isaiah. You know, Geffrey kind of goes here to church, but we were playing, and the person sitting next to me, we were like kind of cheating, I guess you could say. We were like showing each other our cards and like waiting for somebody to get 4, and like I got all 4 of them when I showed, and they're like, okay, we're ready, and I was like, okay. So since I was the one dealing, I had to pick up the card and pass it. So I was like, okay, I got my 4 cards. Pick it up, pass it, spoon, pick it up, pass it, pick it up, pass it. And then finally somebody noticed that I took a spoon. And like everybody jumped at the table. And like this girl named Kirsten who was playing with us, who goes to Wenatchee, like had like the base of the spoon and was like pulling back for it. And Isaiah just like reached across and grabbed the spoon and just like yanked it out of her hand. Like she almost hit her head on the table. So that was probably like the funniest thing that happened at camp for me.
We got second place in the basketball tournament. And right here, these guys right here, they're amazing. This is the band. That's Dan, Cole, Chase, Zach, and Bradley. He doesn't even get a mic, but I tried to get him one. It didn't work out too well.
I got an Italian soda, and then I asked if I asked someone in line if it had soda in it. And my dad and me are doing a thing where you don't have soda for a year.
Funny moment was probably when this kid was up there dancing and trying to show off, and then all of a sudden I could see his foot start to slip, and he just starts slipping down the stairs, like each one of them, and then he's like, oh, and just like kind of runs off stage.
This, you might have to know our students a little more to fully appreciate it, but there's this one day I was sitting in my bunk relaxing, and all of a sudden I start hearing these 3 boys just making this weird noise. And if you know Ryan Cooper, you might know what that noise is. So I look out of my bunk, and Ryan and Chase are trying to teach Jose how to make this weird noise that Ryan just goes around doing. And that's really funny to me, because if you know Jose, he's our quietest student. You hardly ever hear him speak. So that was really funny to me.
Oh, okay. All right. So there was this other youth group. It was Wenatchee. No, not Wenatchee. It was Pasco, I think. And we were doing this group thing, and it was like coon cha, coon cha, coon cha, and then it goes bunny, 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 and then it'd go back and forth, and then like we'd be like, the person that had the bunny would have to, 2 people on the side would have to be like, togi, 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 togi. And yeah, it was a blast.
I don't know if I would call it funny, but the other day, I think it was Thursday, we were standing in line for lunch, and all of a sudden, Larissa looks up at me, and she goes, and she looks terrified, and I said, what? And she said, you have a bug in your hair. And I freaked out, and I was like, get it out, somebody help me. And they're all just staring at me, and they're not helping me. And finally, baby Chase is the only one who did anything, but he ended up like slapping my face, like trying to kill the bug. And then it fell on the ground, and it was like this big. And it was really gross, but after the fact, it was super funny that there was a bug in my hair, and we were all laughing about it, so yeah.
Oh, I got like 2 things. 2 fish swam in my shirt, and like a fish like nibbled my toe, and like Taylor like pushed me off with my flip-flops on and my glasses, so I lost my glasses.
There was a fish that was going around bothering everybody. I know that Ariana and Chase both got touched by the fish. And so sitting down in the water, there's this fish that just keeps coming around and like sliming against your legs for like no reason. And yeah, and then you freak out and it swims away and waits for its next victim.
Okay, Justin and I were sitting like in the lake, like close to the shore, and Avriana comes to sit next to us, and there's this fish that comes and like swims up next to Avriana's foot, and it like starts like slapping at her and everything, and she freaks out and she gets really, really scared, and she like runs away screaming. And then later, Chase comes over and sits next to us, and the same fish like swims over and does it, and he like screams just like Avriana did. It was so funny. He like swims away like really, really afraid and just like, this is so far away.
Just swimming, I guess, was fun. Diving and yeah, a swing. Just hanging out.